Right, it's amazing to be on another edition of Success Precepts, and right about now, it's that moment you've been waiting for. Yes, I said you've been waiting for because it's also the moment I've been waiting for. I've heard you time and again say, yeah, you wait for this moment, and I understand really. It's heavy usually in my heart, and sometimes I can't count time enough. Maybe now I begin to understand more how it feels. Maybe the days when we missed it, there are times when it wasn't there. It helped me understand the worth of it when I get it like I'm getting it right now. And it's my pleasure to welcome Mr. Kanu Emejiwe. Uncle K, good morning.
Morning, Sammy.
Good to be with you again.
Fantastic.
I remember last week while we were together, it was an awesome moment. Okay, it's one of the most difficult times I've had to start a program because right now I can't really tell exactly know what happened. Okay, I know that I was in the studio and then I had a powerful move of God, almost like I've never really felt before. And I know that we're here to feel another move of him. I think that's the best I really can say about the program to begin.
I think that's the best we can say. Yeah,
that's the best we can say.
We thank God for the experience. We thank God for what He's doing in this program. We thank God all that are involved directly and indirectly in what is going on. I know that God is raising an end-time army for Himself. I know that. And
Yes.
I'm honored to be part of that. And I know that as you meditate on His words, He empowers you. That's what we've been talking about.
Exactly.
Acquiring the nature of God. The nature of God. We said so much about it. Like I said last week when we were still talking, we were saying a prayer. And I said, if you're going through some of the issues that we talked about then, we were talking about being a life-giving force.
Yeah.
And you're at the point of taking life. At the point of doing something that will take life.
Take life.
I said, let God intervene. I know He has intervened.
Yeah, exactly.
And I know that as part of that intervention, you face momentary confusion.
Okay.
And you'll be wondering what next to do. Okay, now that I have done this, what do I do? That probably somebody who's pregnant and who thought about taking that life, and right now she's thoroughly confused and wondering what to do. And I know the circumstances of her existence won't allow her to think beyond that and think that that's the end of the world. So we were in the acquiring nature of God, and we've been emphasizing over and over again that the more you conform to His directives, is the more you'll be transformed in His image. To His image.
Yes.
And that in conforming to His directives, oftentimes it's just a simple matter of giving up your nature. That's what it is, because everything God has directed you to do are things you will not normally do.
You naturally wouldn't do.
Yes. And the things He has told you not to do are things that you will normally do.
Exactly.
So He never asks you to do things that you will do, because you will do them.
Exactly.
So He never said, thou shalt sin, because you will sin. I'm just giving an example.
Exactly.
But, the bottom line is that, again, sin itself is relative, because what you might think is sin, God might be looking at it in a different perspective. Or let's put it, what you might not think is sin. Because I think we generally know the general things that are sin, because I know these are offensive to God. He has stated it clearly. But just thinking against Him, thinking contrary to Him is sin.
Exactly.
So these are little things that we've tried to point out in the past, and we said the relationship between God's directives and success are not direct. So it's not that God has said this, you will get this. That stuff about thinking, give, and it shall be given unto you. Because I gave, I will get. Yes, but it's not direct like that. He's saying, because you give, you become like me, a giver.
Something first happens before.
The transformation is what brings you to the level of domination. Once you are transformed, you can dominate. So that in becoming a giver, He's not talking about give one-off. And that's the problem. You think it's a one-off action. Give. Therefore, you will get. No, He's saying, be a giver, because I'm a giver. That in being a giver, you become like me.
Okay.
It's as simple as that.
Okay. I'm a giver, yeah. He is really a giver.
He's a giver.
Of course, the best giver.
The best giver.
So while I give, I become like him.
Then He now says on the other part, givers never lack.
Because, of course, He also never lacks.
Because He has everything.
Oh, goodness.
Because He has everything. The cattle on 1,000 hill
are His.
This is the Lord. So He's not saying give and get a cattle on 1,000 hills. He's saying give, you become like me. Last week we were talking about being a life-giving force, and I said you become a life-giving force by the simple injunction, thou shalt not kill.
Exactly.
So it's not that God will get, and yes, He will be disappointed, He will be unhappy when you kill, because you have limited yourself. See, there are things you do. Remember, I've said it once, that don't put yourself in a position where what you are is all you can be. As a divine injunction, never put yourself in a position where all you are is all you will ever be. Always leave room for prospective growth. Bear in mind that there's nothing you cannot become. Therefore, don't take decisions that limit you today.
Yes.
You understand my point?
Yes.
Don't take decisions that limit you today. because there's a tomorrow. So when you talk about things like killing, he said, yeah, he's not happy about it. And more importantly, because there's a law of karma in place. When you kill, you will be killed.
Exactly.
So it's not just that he's angry with you, then you will die. No, he's saying, let's leave the part of your dying. There's a bigger problem. Because your dying is not a problem. Oh, Jesus, I love you. Your dying is not a problem. You can drop dead. There are how many billion people? 6 or more billion people on earth that you drop dead. It's really more of your problem than his own. It's just that it's a loss for him because the statement he had made about you has not been fulfilled. And remember, he said every word of mine must be fulfilled. That's why when you die before your time, when you do stupid things and you just cut yourself away from him, he is the one that takes the shame. It's not that you're dead. It's, he's dead. No, he's saying that statement I made because you are a prophetic statement. You are a statement from the mouth of God. Before you came, God had prophesied that you are coming. Before you came, God had prophesied that you are coming. So you have come as a fulfillment of a prophecy.
Oh, good.
Just like Christ.
So that I come in the volume of books.
Books that's been written of. And there are books written of you. Your life, what you will do, what you're expected to do, how it will go is there. And so when you come in fulfillment of that prophecy. It's when you don't understand these things that you start to act out your own separate script, unilateral, away from God. And then come away thinking that somebody is going to praise you. I was telling somebody today that the problem is that when people die, everybody praises them. If somebody can go to a burial and speak the truth, yes, the family of the deceased will be upset, but people that are alive will learn.
Which is the real essence of the service.
The essence of the service.
Because we're not doing the service because it's going to change the destiny of the person who's already dead.
He's already dead.
You don't change the destiny of a dead
Or the
man.
people that are alive. And that's what God is after. That you're able to understand this universal truth and transform with it. Thou shalt not kill is not a question of saying God will be angry with you and then you will be killed. You will be killed. No question about that. Because there's a law of karma. But that is not the important thing. The important thing is that you have reduced your capacity to be a life-giving force. And that's what you are created to be, a life-giving force. And the moment you can no longer give life, then you are not worthy to be alive. And that's what all this, the entire thing is about. The previous week we talked about money as a master, and I said it's a wicked master. Think about how many lives have been destroyed in pursuit of money. Somebody was telling me today how a brethren she's so upset because she works in an institution where she has no time and she's had to hire house help and blah blah blah. I said, while you're hiring house help, where's your husband? There is a new generation, an army of young women. Ramokoma Santa, let me prophesy now. There's an army of young women that have been trained and released from the pits of hell to destroy generals. More importantly, potential generals. Not just the manifested generals. So there are young women that will catch your husband, your father, your brother. In fact, by this statement, I admonish women to start to pray for all the men in their lives. Their fathers, their brothers, their husbands, whatever it may be. Even their colleagues in the office. Because there's an onslaught against us. For the reason that I'm saying now. Because now when you destroy the men and make them visionless, there's no place the family of Jesus Christ. We are the vision bearers. See, the enemy is tactical in his approach. He first of all makes our women wayward so they can no longer act in the capacity of wives. Then he now turns to the men and make them visionless so they can no longer act in the capacity of husbands. So what are you now marrying? You just bring two, God forgive me, just bring two people from nowhere and say you have joined them. To do what? To have children and create problems. While you are doing those high-paying jobs that keep you away from home, where's your husband? Who is he with? Who is he talking with? Who's calling him? I'm not saying check up on him. You see, that's my point. It's not what we're preaching here. We're saying set the environment. I want to go home to my wife. I want to go home. That's the essence of it. The people that their husbands would rather be outside than be home. And you have not asked yourself what is happening. You are looking for with the demon where it is. Anyway, let's go back to the taskmaster. I said, when the money becomes your master, it's a wicked taskmaster. It will send you very far away of Jesus Christ. See, what it will make you do. You know what it is? Master-slave relationship. It's the one directing you. Take a job halfway across the world. Take a job halfway. Somebody said to me, because of economic hardship, women now have to take all kinds of. It is true. For you. It is true. But for me, it is not true. I refuse to live in that kind of reality. I will create my own. I will create the one where my wife will be at home looking after the home. Whatever she does for the passion of her heart, not because of money. Money will never direct her.
Okay.
Money will
There's
never
a line of dichotomy
Yes. It is you that has created the world that is difficult for yourself. Because money has become your master, not your slave. Something like we're talking about transformation in his image as you obey his injunctions. And last week we talked about the thou shalt not kill and talked about being a life-giving force. And I said, let's pick anyone at random and I can teach you about it. Beware of covetousness. Don't be covetous. It's also an injunction. Why do you think God says don't be covetous? He'll be angry. In wanting everything, I repeat, in wanting everything, you will have nothing.
In wanting everything,
you will have nothing.
End up having nothing.
Period. So when he's saying don't be covetous, just like saying don't kill, he said be like me. There's no need for me to be covetous. See, the thing about being covetous is because you are trying to claim ownership over something that should normally be yours.
Yes.
In a kingdom commonwealth, nothing belongs to you. Everything belongs to the sovereign.
Exactly.
We've taught this before.
Exactly.
Everything belongs to the sovereign. What the sovereign grants you is access to what he owns. When you understand this principle, then covetousness will die in you. Because there's no need for you to want what you don't have when you already know it's yours.
When you already know
it's yours.
It is yours.
Because by subjugation to the sovereign, you automatically own what he owns. But covetousness just takes you far away from the point. Now let's look at it closely. All it does is set heartache and trouble for you. So he says, don't be covetous, not so that I won't be angry and flog you. You know why I'm saying this? Because people do things. When they don't see the repercussions that they have been warned about, they say God lied.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, if you eat this apple, you will die. I ate it, I didn't die.
No, which means it's not true.
You're seeing a very small picture. You haven't seen. I think those of us on this side of life have seen the big picture. Adam and Eve saw a very small picture. So they ate the thing. No, it's true.
Because when she didn't die, she believed, and that was the
reason. And then she sold it to her husband.
She sold the idea.
You're the one seeing the small picture. There's a lot of things you've done. You say, okay, I've gotten away with it, so it's free. It's not free. It's a lie. There are repercussions. There are always consequences. So, like we've talked about, thou shalt not kill. We're talking about do not be covetous. Because in being covetous, see, you spend mental hours trying to find ways to own things that, not that you shouldn't own, but are already yours by virtue of your subjugation to the sovereign. That you are a subject of the king entitles you, oh Jesus Christ, to what the king owns. So why would you stay awake thinking of how to covert your neighbor's property? Think of how to covert, I want this. Oh, this dress is out, I want it. This bag. Have you seen what fashion is doing? It's bringing back stuff that we are giving up on. All the stuff that when we were growing up we used and laughed at, they were out of fashion, they've come back into fashion. You see, you want to say about money being a wicked, just take you around in circles. And so you see this new dress you wanted, you see this hair you wanted, you see this new one you want, and you want everything, and you end up owning nothing. Because in so striving, you lose the very essence of your life. You lose the very essence, and Jesus put it this way: what shall it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his soul? You lose the essence of your being. You are now a devoid, empty container that cannot be used by anybody or anything. And God cannot use you. You cannot be useful to anybody. So it's not in the context of saying God is angry with me for not obeying his injunctions. It's as simple as saying when you don't conform to these things he has asked you to, you immediately separate yourself. You are no longer like him. And because you're no longer like him, you cannot get the results he gets. It's impossible for you. We've talked about forgiveness. We've talked about so many things. And I've said in all these things, it's not the direct result you're looking at. It's the indirect one. That you acquire the nature of the Creator. And when you acquire the nature of the Creator, you have the results of the Creator. Without struggle. It amazes me when people spend their life struggling for things that they should normally have.
That's order.
And when you struggle, it seems farther away. And the farther away it is, the more you struggle. And then the more you struggle, it seems farther away. And the farther away, you see how it's like the chicken and the egg.
I just remember when we talked about predestination.
Yes.
Predestination. You're on this path, and this is where it takes you to.
Yeah.
It has been predestined. It's been pre-programmed.
Determined before you came.
And then it helps us. It helps us understand it. Not God being a deity. You do this, it flogs you.
The road to Lagos will take you to Lagos.
Will naturally take you to Lagos.
And not to Kaduna. You cannot be on the road to Lagos and be praying to be in Kaduna. Listen, as long as you're on the road to Lagos, you will get to Lagos. You can never get to Kaduna.
Definitely.
So no amount of prayer and fast. That's what I'm telling you. That in prayer and fasting, I think it's good to point this out. that the place of prayer, fasting, and the things we do is to generate capacity.
Capacity.
Perhaps as we enter into New Year, because this is a period when people are running up, people are thinking about what's going to happen. So maybe sometime in future, we'll be talking about this capacity. Everything you do is to generate capacity. To carry you. I talked about this last week, and I said the reason why we have not been able to change Nigeria is because collectively we have not
capacity to do that.
We have not generated that kind of capacity, and that's why God is raising new generals, new people that will begin to point His children and His people to the right way of thinking, so that they can start doing the things that they will need to do to get to the level. Because it's as simple as this: the road to Kaduna is going to Kaduna. The road to Lagos is going to. You can, if you like, pray and fast. From beginning to end, when you open your eye, you must be in Lagos. It's called Lagos Road.
Definitely.
Are you understanding me?
It takes you to Lagos.
It takes you to Lagos. If you want to go to Kaduna, you must get off that road and move to Kaduna Road. You cannot in any way stay on Lagos Road and be thinking by any means,
praying,
foul or not. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Prayer, vigil, whatever it is, your relationship with God is for capacity. I've used Jesus as an example, and I said Jesus prayed. What was He praying for? Go and ask Him. If you don't believe the one I have told you, go and ask Him. What was He praying for? He will leave him go and hide down somewhere, and that's why people say they're going to the mountain. And when they go to the mountain, they're asking God for more power. Jesus didn't pray for more power. Jesus didn't pray for more power. The mountain is not for power. The mountain is for capacity. Because in finding capacity that you have found power. In finding capacity, you have found power.
It's still another indirect relationship.
Yes.
It is not straight.
It's never straight. Because if you have power without capacity to be first unleashed on you, you will destroy yourself. Yes. It will be first unleashed on you. You will destroy yourself.
Goodness.
You must have capacity before you have power. In finding capacity, capacity is power. Capacity is power. It's not the other way around.
But then I know someone may be asking, what is this capacity we're talking about?
That's why I said
again.
that we need to spend time and talk about, because life is about, everything comes in capacity. I can just draw a simple analogy and tell you what capacity is. You have a bucket, and the bucket takes 20 liters of water, and you have a cup, and the cup takes 1 liter of water. That's capacity. You have the containers by their sizes have defined their capacity.
Okay.
You cannot take the one of 1 liter
and pour 20 liters
and pour 20 liters into it.
You end up wasting the water.
It will take only 1 liter and 19 is wasted. So until the 1 liter container has expanded itself
enough
to 20 liters, it cannot qualify to receive from 20 liters. That's how it works. It's not the prayer and fasting. So you're a 1 liter container and you want 20 liters, and you are there praying and fasting for more power to do what?
For more water. Instead of asking
for more capacity,
you get expanded.
The water is available. You are praying for more water, and God says you are only 1 liter, and I have filled you. And you are saying, give me more water, more water, more water, water. And God is saying you have all you can take. Why don't you let me give you capacity? Because the moment you have 1 liter and you expand to 20, the 20 flows into you naturally, no struggle. So God says, remember what I said before, debunk this notion of working for God. Stop that nonsense. Stop that breakdance. Let God work in you. The moment God has worked in you, that's the capacity.
Yeah.
The moment God has worked in you, you will now have expanded capacity to be like Him. We talked about Solomon last week, and I said, Solomon asked for wisdom. Remove that word. Solomon asked for capacity. And God said, you have understood it.
Okay. Now I think someone is beginning to understand what capacity is now.
Good.
For example, wisdom.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, exactly.
For example, wisdom.
Solomon asked for capacity. God, he said, how will I rule these people you have given me? Let me have capacity like you. I recognize you as the sovereign. So give me the kind of capacity you have. And God said, now you have caught it. Now because you have asked for capacity, this capacity will not only fetch for you ability to rule over your people wisely, it will give you the life of your enemies. It will give you the money you want. It will give you the fame you want. It will give you everything else you could possibly have asked for. The relationship is never direct. Stop this breakdance that I'm working for God. And ask God to work in you. Because when God has worked on you, then you have the capacity. Everything else you do is right with Him.
So you just learn that you're working right now to acquire his nature. In all that you do, acquire his nature. But then I also want, I want us to get something clear, because some people may say we have discouraged them on success precepts, not to give, not to lend when it has to do with church projects, not to help in getting the church environment tidied up, and all of that.
Sammy, thank you. I wish I had plenty of time. I wanted to do giving. I actually came here to talk about giving, the injunction to give, as one of those things I was talking about, transforming into the nature of the Creator. I wish we could. I'm going to try and touch it. And please, by God, if we can't do it next week or some other time, we'll do it. Now, when we talk about giving, the Bible says, give and it shall be given unto you. Not give so that it shall be given unto you. And I've said this before, I say it all over again. It's in acquiring the nature of the Creator that you become like Him and you can do things like Him. Now He's saying, give like me, because I'm a giver. He said, give
like me,
because I am a giver. That's what He said. You remember what I'm saying? He's saying, transform to my image.
Yes.
Become like me.
Yes.
Then you will get everything you want.
Yes.
So He's saying that if you want to get anything in life, give. That everything I wanted, I gave. That when I wanted humanity, I gave my Son. That this is the nature. Remember I said this is about acquiring the nature. This is the way it works. That and remember, it's not a direct relationship. So you don't turn into kalo. So that God has just said now that when you give, you will get something. Stop that breakdance. No. He's saying give and become like me. That's all. And when you understand the power in being like Him, unless you are really dim, in which case you need to pray a different prayer for God to give you some kind of light in your head. If you understand it, because every day I want to be like Him. Oh, Jesus Christ, I want to be like You. That's my prayer. Every day I wake up, I say, God, make me a better man today. All these ones people are praying for, I don't know what they're praying for. Monkeys, baboons, bananas, and gorillas. I don't know what you're praying for. God, make me a better man today. A better man than I was yesterday. Because as I transform every day, I become like You. I see, and in transforming every day, all those things that, you see, Jesus didn't look for anything, it just happened around Him. Even when He was apparently ignorant of it happening. Because the elements of the world would just simply work in your favor. He said, I would go through nations for you. I will turn kingdoms around for you. You won't be aware that it's happening. But because you have acquired the nature of the Creator, it just starts happening.
You're falling in pleasant places.
Simple. So when He says, become like me in giving, then He now goes somewhere and says, givers never lack. Because I never lack. I cannot lack. The cattle on 1,000 hill belongs to me. Are you understanding me? He didn't say give and get. He said give and be like me.
And be like me.
Because I'm a giver. That's the principle upon which I founded the world. Stop that thing you are doing. Forget about that mentality. When you become like me, then you understand that you can never lack. You can never lack. Please. So, as much as time will allow us, let me just stop this giving thing here. And maybe, because I think this is a place we need to sit on.
Yes.
This giving thing is a big problem. But with the little we have said, when you get these CDs we're giving you, I think God will open new areas of understanding. I think that's the key to this thing. Get these CDs, we're giving it for free, and then let God open areas. Give me light. Ask God to give you understanding. That's what the Bible says. The psalmist says, give me understanding and I shall live.
Yeah.
That's my word for you.
All right, and then it's been another powerful time. Like I told you from the beginning, that it's another time when we simply open our hearts to God, and definitely when you do, He will definitely feel. Yeah, when you thirst, when we open our hearts, as we thirst, as we yearn, as we hunger for Him.